Why is nobody talking about this absolutely terrifying part of Angela Rayner's employment rights bill that could be absolutely devastating for businesses, especially the small businesses that are already struggling enough as it is?
The Sun has just done a big article on this, which I will link right below this video.
Labour has announced a sweeping new employment rights bill. It's being sold as a boost for workers, but many of its proposals are extremely dangerous for businesses, especially small and family-run businesses. The worst part? A new automatic right of access for trade unions to enter workplaces. Right now, trade unions cannot enter your workplace unless you agree or a tribunal forces it, but Labour wants to change that. Under the new law, trade unions will have a legal right to access workplaces, including virtually to recruit and organise. That means union officials can just show up at your premises or in your inbox, even if you've never had an issue whatsoever with your employees. Employers will be forced to negotiate access agreements, and if there's no agreement, the Central Arbitration Committee can impose access and fine businesses that do not comply. This is unprecedented interference in how you run your own company. Imagine you're a small business owner and suddenly you're being forced to let external activists into your private workplace. You lose control over your staff environment. It damages trust, morale, and focus. 84% of UK businesses are family owned. These firms will be hit the hardest. If unions stir up division or make unreasonable demands, some businesses may feel they have no choice but to close their doors for good. And don't just hear it from me. This is what business owners are saying. John Elliott, the owner of EBAC Dehumidifiers, has said, "This is bad news. We all agree employees should have rights, but we need to explain to the public that employers have rights too. It should be an equal relationship." John Longworth, the chair of the Independent Business Network, also said the automatic right of access for unions to invade SMEs is one of the most pernicious aspects of the bill. Family businesses are 84% of all businesses and will be particularly hit by this interference in the relationship between themselves and their colleagues. This is all about union power and union income and little benefit to employment rights. In some cases, it is likely to lead to businesses shutting up shop and higher unemployment. Bad for business, bad for workers, bad for the economy. Roger Walters of Super City Hotel Group says this bill is just another pop at capitalism. The promoters have strong communist leanings. If this bill is not defeated, Great Britain will become another Russia or North Korea. Pretty damning comments there from business owners who are absolutely terrified of this new bill that would make it far easier for unions to take control of workplaces. They're removing the 40% threshold needed for recognition. They're scrapping the rule that unions must show that majority support is likely before applying. And worst of all, they're giving ministers power to reduce the minimum union membership in a workplace to just 2%.
That means a tiny section of a company's workforce could trigger union access, disruption, and formal negotiations, whether the rest of the team wants it or not.
This affects ordinary people like you because if small businesses close, you lose local shops, family farms, cafes, tradespeople, and choice. Less competition means higher prices and fewer services for consumers like you. Fewer jobs means more unemployment, especially for people who rely on flexible work who are just starting out. In short, what hurts small businesses hurts everyone. Lance Foreman, the owner of H. Foreman & Son, says small businesses are already suffering under the burdens of red tape, which they are ill-equipped to deal with compared to their larger counterparts. Adding this additional unfair burden, unfair because employees in small firms already have disproportionate power compared to large-scale employers, could be the final nail in the coffin for many of Britain's small businesses. Labour's employment rights bill sounds worker-friendly, but in practice it could be absolutely devastating for the backbone of Britain's economy, small businesses.
And we spoke to many businesses. They've been working with us to get the employment rights bill forward.
Can you name a company, a few of them, that have welcomed these proposals?
Well, we've worked with many of the companies.
Name a few.
I've worked with so many of them on this. I've had many roundtables, as has the business secretary, and they've very much welcomed the work that we've been doing on making sure that people...
You must be able to name a few, because I can name all the companies, the recruitment companies, Hayes, Manpower, Randstad. They've signed the letter saying this is the wrong approach. You're going to put jobs at risk. Which are the companies that have welcomed your employment rights?
Well, like I say, I've spoke to many companies. We've had many roundtables with them and we've been discussing it, and they've acknowledged that there has to be a balance and broadly welcomed it. We've made changes as opposed to, for example, on the probation periods when we listened to what business said. So we have the probation periods as well alongside the balance of rights from day one.
Will you get me a list of those companies and then we can call them and say, do you welcome Angela Rayner's proposals?
Well, there's been many of the companies that we've worked with, like I say, so many of them.
Automatic union access, looser thresholds, sweeping regulations.
This is not progress.
It's interference, instability, and chaos. If we want jobs, innovation, and growth, we need to stand up for enterprise, not strangle it. Small to medium-sized enterprises are the backbone of the UK economy. They must be protected from intrusive union powers that could put them out of business.
If you want to help save British businesses from these draconian new measures, make sure you share this video far and wide. Thanks for watching.